Hello, welcome to part 2 of lane discipline. As you can see there from the caption, we are driving along the A612 Colwick Loop Road towards Southwell. Now, in the subject of lane discipline, as you can see, there's two lanes there. From the markings, it's clearly a bus lane, and from the blue signs, it's a 24-hour bus lane, so we're not allowed to use that at this time in the type of vehicle that we're driving. But what we do look for, as we mentioned in the previous video, is the end of the bus lane, which generally happens before a junction, so vehicles can turn left safely without crossing the bus lane that's active. So along this road we're looking for the end of the bus lane. Now, I just think something to point out for the test route along this way is those 30 signs there, quite difficult to see, and lots of people miss them, so just watch out for those. Now, looking at there's a bus in the bus lane. That's not the reason why we're not using it. Remember, we're not using it because we're not allowed in there at this point. What we need to establish is when does the bus lane end. Now, we can see there's information signs on the left hand side, but the biggest indication that we've got there are those arrows painted on the road, and those arrows mean that traffic may use either lane to go ahead, and because we're not planning to overtake or turn right, we've moved back over to the left hand side. Now, what we also notice on this junction just after the traffic lights is the right hand lane becomes a right turn only, and this left lane allows us to go ahead or left. Now, some people may be in the right hand lane that want to overtake and come back to the left hand side, so just be careful of those because they often do that quite late at these lights. So just again be aware of anybody trying to overtake at that point. Now, you notice there a much more obvious change of speed limit sign, so it's going up to 40 miles per hour. Of course, with lane discipline, that's the focus of these videos at the moment. So why is the speed important? Because I've mentioned it a couple of times. It's not just about not breaking the speed limit, it's about fitting in with the flow of traffic. So we need to be doing an appropriate speed on any road that we're driving on. But you notice there on the left hand side there's an indication that we're approaching a junction, so that's a stacked information type sign, and that will tell us that we're approaching a junction and there'll be a choice of lane for the destination that we intend to follow. So at this point, again, we've remained in the left lane, and there's also a lane next to us that goes ahead, and a third lane on the right hand side there that turns right only. So we've chosen to stay in this left hand lane because we've no intention of overtaking at this point. The road ahead of us is quite clear and it's free flowing. Now, a common feature of junctions, as we mentioned before, is they widen before a junction and then narrow again after the junction. So you can see these vehicles here are perfectly lined up there to do a merge in turn, and you'll notice the deflection arrows painted on the road on the right hand side, and the black vehicle is just merging back into the left hand side. This car that we're in doesn't need to change lanes or change positions at all because we're already in the left position. Now, again, looking for information and looking ahead, we need to have information about when we're approaching a junction, and there's a couple of indications here. There's a warning sign for traffic lights, and there's the big map type signs that tell us that we're approaching a junction because they're pre-junction signs, just like the stacked information signs. There you can see them, the two big white signs, and that's telling us the destinations and the appropriate directions for us to take. So we've crossed over a line here into a left lane which goes ahead or turns left. Notice the lane next to us only goes ahead, and that's to those designated destinations that's painted on the road. And as we turn left into this road, you'll notice the speed limit changes again to 30, so we'll need to look at the road markings and the conditions of the road and the situation and slow accordingly.